I am a young girl of 26 years who got married in December. My husband told me he was 34 years old when we were dating. Today, I was going through his file and documents and saw his passport where his birth year was stated as 1972. This means he is 51 years old. I have been crying since I stumbled on this. When I confronted him, he said age is just a number and that he didn't know he was up to 51 years old. Can you imagine? In 10 years, he will be 61 years old while I will be 36. He has apologised. But will I ever forgive myself for making this type of mistake? But this isn't really about the husband. This is about how I got here. How karma has a way of coming full circle. How the universe keeps perfect records. My story began when I was in school. I was young and vibrant, so beautiful. Everyone wanted a piece of the pie. Perky bosoms, ample rear, all the things that made the suppleness of a female very ample. I wanted the best things in life, and so I dated men in their late 60s who were extremely wealthy. As such, I lacked for nothing. On 2 occasions, I made the wives of 2 of my sugar grandpas leave them, caused major family rifts. I didn't care. I was young. I was getting paid. The world was mine. Then there was Daniel, a young IT expert, 23 years old, brilliant, kind. He was just starting out, building something from nothing. He loved me, genuinely loved me. He gave me his meagre earnings, bought me gifts he couldn't afford, took me to places that drained his savings. Little did he know he was competing with accounts backed by endless zeros. I would take his $200 and laugh about it later with Mr. Williams, my main sugar daddy, while sipping champagne that cost more than Daniel's monthly income. Then I did something worse. I slept with Daniel's best friend, Marcus, just because I could, just to prove I had power. Daniel found out. He confronted me in his tiny apartment, tears streaming down his face. "Why?" he asked. "I gave you everything I had. Everything you had wasn't enough," so I said coldly. He looked at me like I'd killed something inside him. "And maybe I had?" He didn't yell, didn't curse at first. He just stared. Then he spoke, slowly, deliberately. "You will reap what you sow. Every tear I've cried, you will cry tenfold. Every betrayal you caused me, you will feel 100 times over. You will beg for the love you threw away. And when you do, no one will answer. This is not a threat. This is a promise. Life will collect its debt from you." I laughed, called him dramatic, told him to grow up. I walked out of his life and never looked back. Years passed, I continued my lifestyle. Mr. Williams became my primary target. He was 72, owned half the city, real estate, businesses, investments. He was married, 3 wives, polygamous setup, wealthy African family, old money. But he promised me things, showed me a will, a photocopy. My name was there, 80% of his estate, all his possessions. Everything would be mine when he died. "You're the only one who truly loves me," he would say. "Not for my name, not for status, just me." I smiled and nodded. Of course, I loved his money, but he didn't need to know that. One night, I decided to speed things up. Mr. Williams had been sick, heart problems, high blood pressure. His doctor, Dr. Chen, had been treating him for 15 years. I seduced a Chen. It wasn't hard. He was lonely, divorced, overworked. "I need your help," so I told him after weeks of secret meetings. "Mr. Williams is suffering. Why let him suffer longer? We can ease his passing, make it look natural. Heart failure. He's old, no one will question it." Dr. Chen hesitated, but I convinced him. Promised him money, promised him more of me, promised him a future. The poison was untraceable, mixed with his regular medication. 3 weeks later, Mr. Williams died peacefully in his sleep. The autopsy showed heart failure. Natural causes. Everyone mourned. I cried at the funeral. Perfect performance. Then came the will reading. The entire family gathered. His 3 wives, his children, extended family, lawyers. I sat in the front, confident, ready to claim my prize. The lawyer opened the envelope. "Read the will." My name was mentioned, but not the way I expected. The estate would go to his 3 wives first, equal shares. Only if by some tragedy all 3 wives lost their lives would I become the sole heiress, and only to set up a trust fund for all his children. If these conditions were not satisfied, I would not receive a single dollar. I felt my blood freeze. The photocopy he showed me was fake. A lie. A test, maybe. Or perhaps he never trusted me at all. I stood up. Everyone stared. I left without a word. Outside, I screamed into my hands. "Doctor," Chen called. "What happened?" "He lied to me, Hess. I killed him for nothing." Silence. Then Doctor, Chen said coldly, "We killed him. Don't forget that." He hung up. He hung up. I realized then I wasn't just empty-handed. I was trapped. Doctor Chen knew everything. He could destroy me anytime. Unless the wives died. All three. Then the will would trigger. I would inherit. I would control everything. I planned carefully. I would bring all three wives to one place. A memorial event, honouring Mr. Williams. They would come. They had to. Family tradition demanded it. I hired 3 men, professional. Expensive. They would stage a robbery, invade the venue, kill all 3 wives in the chaos, make it look like a tragic crime. Random violence. The event was set. A beautiful hall, expensive decorations. I played the grieving mistress. The women came, all 3, dressed in black, elegant, unsuspecting. The hired men arrived, masks, guns, right on schedule. They stormed in, screaming, waving weapons. Guests screamed, chaos erupted. Perfect. Everything according to plan. Then one of them started acting strange, twitching, laughing, his movements erratic. He wasn't following the plan. He was high, methamphetamine. He'd taken it before the job to calm his nerves, but it made him uncontrollable, unstable. He started shooting wildly, not just the wives, everyone, guests. Security, he shot the first wife, dead instantly. Blood sprayed across the white tablecloths. Then the second wife. She fell backward, clutching her chest, dead before she hit the ground. Then he turned and saw me, his eyes locked on mine, wild, unfocused, and he smiled. A terrible, empty smile. He raised his gun. I ran. He fired. The bullet hit my back. I felt it pierce through me. Hot, burning. I fell forward, my face hitting the marble floor. Pain exploded through my entire body. I couldn't breathe, couldn't move. I heard screaming, more gunshots. The third wife was screaming somewhere. Still alive. I heard her voice. Distant, terrified. Then sirens. The other 2 men panicked. They grabbed the drugged one, tried to drag him out. But police were already outside. Someone had called them early. Gunfire erupted. I heard it. Heard men shouting. Heard bodies falling. Then chaos. Then nothing. I lay there bleeding. My vision blurred. Someone turned me over. A paramedic. Young. Scared. "Stay with me. Stay awake. You're going to be okay." But I didn't feel okay. I felt cold. So cold. My hands were numb. I couldn't feel my legs. Blood pooled beneath me. Dark. Spreading. "Am I dying?" I whispered. The paramedic didn't answer, just pressed harder on my wound. Another paramedic arrived. They lifted me onto a stretcher. I saw the ceiling, the chandelier, then the sky, an ambulance, sirens, voices, then darkness. I woke up 2 days later, white ceiling, sterile smell, beeping machines, hospital. I was alive. I tried to move. Couldn't. My body was heavy, numb, tubes everywhere, IV in my arm, catheter, heart monitor. A nurse noticed I was awake. "You're awake. Don't try to move. You've had major surgery. The bullet damaged your spine. You're very lucky to be alive." Lucky? I didn't feel lucky. I felt trapped, immobile, broken. "The police want to talk to you," the nurse said quietly. "They've been waiting." "No," I whispered. "Not yet. I'm afraid it's not optional." She left. Minutes later, the door opened. I expected 1 or 2 officers, but what I saw made my heart stop. The third wife walked in first. Mrs. Williams, the one who survived. She was wearing black. Her face was hard, cold.